Hello, I'm Chuck, and welcome to the Delaware Valley Original Music Showcase. Tonight, we continue our mission of helping support original music in the Delaware Valley with our three-step process. Listen, experience, and pass on original music. But we need your help to get the word out, so let's get started. Tonight's band calls South Jersey home. They are a powerhouse trio that brings energy to wherever they play, and their music is totally them. Let's meet Jim, John, and Dream. They are Whiskey Grin here on the Delaware Valley Original Music Showcase. So now you got a taste of their music. When we come back, we're going to find out more about them in the interview. During these difficult times, it's nice to know there are places that are trying to bring you some normalcy and still look out for your health. The Blue Crab Grill is one of those places, and you can enjoy a social distance dining experience or just get curbside pickup. All you have to do is call 302-737-1100 for a reservation or to place an order, or bluecrabgrill.com and make your reservation. And remember, we're all in this together.
Hey, Chuck, welcome to Whiskey Grin. So, yeah.
He didn't buy it, Jim. He didn't buy it.
John and I have been playing together for a number of years before Grin joined the band, different bands together. And started back in the 70s, way back then. And John and I were in the process of putting out some recordings. We were in the studio for a number of years working on some recordings, and when that project was done, we decided to put this new thing, Whiskey Grin, together. And Dream has been with us now for about 6 years. And
yeah.
We've done a few things. We managed to get out on a tour. We put out a CD. We've done a lot of thousands of live shows, I think, by now, and just been keeping busy.
The 7 seconds is the side of the car, a minute later down the street. Next car is listed tonight, from a diamond blue Mercedes-Benz.
Well, me, I was just like raised with music since I was an infant. My mother used to put a radio in my crib to shut me up, you might say. And my grandfather was a drummer, so I wanted to follow in his shoes. So I just got into music, listening to, all types of music, working on my craft. And I've been doing it for over 30 years now.
I know I too came from a family of musicians. My mom was, she was a musician. She came from a family of musicians. We had an organ in the house. My mom and dad were both musicians, but my mom was a by-the-book musician, whereas my dad was a by-the-ear musician. But between the two, they tried to find a musical fit for me, and I did flute lessons, clarinet lessons, piano lessons, organ lessons, and none of those really stuck until they gave up on me. And I picked up a bass guitar and just started playing along with we had a hi-fi at the house where I could actually plug in a bass guitar and play along with the radio. And that's when I really caught the bug, just teaching myself and just trying to find a way to play along. And I found out that I was able to find the bass notes and play along with it. And Jim will tell you, my first audition with Jim was stuff I had learned playing along with the radio, and I learned how to play Money, boom, 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 boom. And that was my education. That's how I fell in love with it. But then that got me into a band. And then getting into a band is where things totally changed, because now as a band, you're dedicated to practicing every week and rehearsing and refining your craft. When you are taking lessons, you're only accountable to a teacher who's getting paid by your parents or something. But when you're in a band and you're driven by something else, that's when it really starts to change for you.
There was a talent show, and people were going crazy for the Black Sabbath stuff, and they pretty much almost booed the guy off the stage. I was playing this great classical stuff, and I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to play rock and roll. And that's pretty much how it started.
It's always the same, what a dangerous game. Speed will justify his ends.
I guess you are who you are, and you do what you do, and it's been, I'm sure Dream and John can tell you that, our musical aspirations have always been to just want to put out good music and to strive to put out good music. Doesn't mean we're always successful at doing it, but, how do you measure the success at that point? To me, I think right now Whiskey Grin is extremely successful in the fact that we've been able to collaborate and write great songs with each other. I mean, at least that, we think that they're really good. And our fan base and friends, they don't really say no to it, so that's nice. But I think at this level right now where we're at, very satisfied with the success of what we've done so far, and that's the main deal there. And just to keep writing and putting out more and more music.
Yeah, we want to stay on top of it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say a little something. I mean, I know there are bands out there. There are bands that are out there because they're after success. There's bands that are out there that are after money, and Jim and I've seen it actually kill bands, honestly, because when you're after success and you're after money, sometimes there's one guy who's the one who's really driven, and it ends up killing the band because one person has a particular measure of what success is. One person in the band has a particular measure of what fame is or how much money you should be making. But I think ultimately, at the end of the day, if you're not doing it, and this is the phrase I just keep coming back to, if you're not doing it for the love of the game, then you're just going to be miserable.
Yeah.
You're gonna be following one person who's driven and has some vision for what it should be, and everybody's trying to get in line with that one person's vision. But if you can do it for the love of the game, and you're good at doing it, I think success will follow. But you have to love and enjoy what you're doing. And I think that's what's happening with Whiskey Grin. I don't think we're driven for the sake of success or for the sake of money. We've got to make X amount of dollars every show, and if we don't, then we'll just sit at home and let the other people. No, we're for the most part, we're doing it for the love of the game. We love getting in front of people and playing. When we are on stage together, we feed off of each other. And if you haven't been to a Whiskey Grin show, Chuck, yet, but believe me, when you're at a Whiskey Grin show, you will look at three guys who love what they're doing and they love each other, in a platonical sense, but there's a love and a chemistry there that we feed off of, and that's really what keeps us going. We love the chemistry and the magic that happens when we perform together, and hopefully that's the key to success. It may, not necessarily we got to make $5,000 a night. We gotta fit this 5-year plan for success. That's not what drives us as much as, like I said, the love of the game.
Racing for 19 days, but preparation is a part of the art. 19 years just to perfect his trade with a specialty in high-end cars. 13 months ago we made a change. Now we're jacking cars on the better side of the law.
What we do together, it just seems like we all come together. The three of us, there's a chemistry.
There's original style between the three of us.
Mm-hmm.
You sound like nobody. You sound like us.
I mean, we have influences, of course, everybody does, but, we don't try to mimic those influences. We try to be ourselves, and I think that's how we describe ourselves the best. Is that like we're in the process of writing a new album right now, and I had a conversation with John about like what direction we, you want to target a direction, and he was pretty much like, no. I want to do this as eclectic as possible, just to, just throwing out, how we write, and if something, throw it up against the wall, see if it sticks, kind of thing. We don't, since we're not tied to a record deal right now, we don't have to worry about, being a certain way of how we want our music to be projected, right how we feel, and there's a lot of freedom in that, and we like it.
I think one of the things that sets Whiskey Grin apart is there are some bands that get together who they're together because they all have the same sort of influence and are trying to emulate a certain sound. I think what's different about us, we come from so many different types of backgrounds and we have so many different types of influences. I think you would be hard pressed to say Whiskey Grin sounds like and fill in the blank. There are lots of bands out there that you can easily fill in the blank. This band sounds like fill in the blank. Yeah. You can't do that with Whiskey Grin. There's so many influences. What I'd like to say is we are dedicated just to straight ahead rock and roll. We're not trying to sound like Led Zeppelin. We're not trying to sound like Metallica. We're not trying to sound like Styx. We're just trying to be us. And let the chips fall where they may.
Use your skills if you don't pay your bills. Steal any car, don't you know that he's a midnight driver? Midnight driver, midnight driver, under the veil of darkness.
Dream brings that Lawrence Welk quality to the band that
he looks a lot like Lawrence Welk.
So many other bands are lacking. Dream brings the orchestration and the violins and the bubbles.
The bubbles.
The bubbles.
Gotta be bubbles.
Bubbles are important.
Jim brings a lot of candy.
I bring the candy.
He brings the candy.
He's the
He's the candy man. He's the candy man.
I think all of us contribute a certain part, and that's what makes the whole, I guess. But John brings a very different blend of music and different musical mind to the band, I believe, in his writing. He sheds his skin really well on his writing, and his sense of music is on point. And as far as Dream goes, Dream is, I play with a lot of drummers, and a lot of drummers are just that. They're just drummers. Dream is an all-around musician. He understands a lot of things about music that a lot of drummers don't. And in that respect, he brings to the table a lot of things like arranging. His sense of arrangement in songs is just like, I've never seen a drummer, no, this can't work out, think about this. He almost thinks like 3 steps ahead in that direction, because he'll see things that John and I don't even pick up on, and then when we wind up playing it the way he says to play it, yeah, we should have done it like that from the very beginning. He gets it, you know what I mean? So it's that's sort of like what he brings to the table.
Chuck, we're in the process of trying to write a new album, and unfortunately, because of COVID, we haven't been able to link up the way that we used to be able to. So we're kind of writing songs from a distance more often now, and like when I try to come to the guys with a musical idea, my and this is one of the things I rely upon my brothers for with Jim and Dream. I may bring to the table what sounds cool to me, but ultimately at the end of the day, it's kind of a corny pop song. because it lacks Jim's flair and magical prowess on guitar, because I'm so limited to what I'm a bass player and so limited to what I can do, on guitar, and Jim just brings these magical fingers, to the table, to just make a song. Yeah, he's like Jim. He calls it the candy, but Dream also brings his own particular candy to it, because he just brings a rhythmic flair to it that was beyond what I could have considered, and just he sees arrangement possibilities that none of us had considered, and he keeps us on point. We end up bringing a song to the table that's okay, but because of all the different contributions, it ends up becoming something far better and far greater than because of the sum of the parts, than just what one person's contribution could have been.
As a thief, well, the victim don't know that you come until you're gone. You can choose when the chances don't lose, and that's what you're counting on. Repossession's a far different game, and the victim loves to hide. And so in the taking, you might be taken by surprise.
19th, we're at Bar 13 in Wilmington, Delaware. We'll be playing with two other groups there. One is Rat Rod, South Jersey band, friends of ours that we've known for quite some time, and a national act, 86 Bullets, from Baltimore, Maryland, I believe.
60 seconds till the battle's won. Stick it for me, boy. He's got the